Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we welcome you to this edition of the Big Biz Show. We are live in the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, and as a lot of people like to say around these here
Can
parts.
itty bitty brands make a new audio? I want to go straight to Howie Font today because let's get the business out of the way. Because we had a very special show today. It's called The Business of Music. I think we're gonna have a live audience here in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
Okay, they get to come in and hang out. And
love it.
Of course, we've got Kaleo from the band Pepper. We've got Nick Gross and Travis Mills from the band Girlfriends in to talk about the actual business of music today. But first, let's talk about the business of business. And Howie joins us from New York City as our lead analyst. Let's talk about shorts again, Howie. You can't sell your house before you own it, and you can't sell your car before you own it, but you can sell stock before you own it. And you basically tell your broker that you want to sell a number of shares of XYZ company, and that broker is supposed to go out there and borrow those shares from somebody else who has the shares, lets you sell them, and then you're supposed to buy them back a couple days later, hopefully at a cheaper price than you got the cash for, and you get to keep the difference. That's basically how a short sale works. The problem is, when you buy a stock for $100, the most you can lose is $100.
Right.
When you borrow shares and you're hoping for the downside, what's the most you can lose? Well, infinity you could lose, because if it goes up, you got to cover the short. There's a famous big short investor named Michael Burry. I believe he's a market maker because he's so influential, Howie. I believe he acts like he could move markets in terms, like market makers typically are the people on the bid and ask box trading the stock, but he's really a market maker. Talk about what's going on with him. He's an interesting character.
No, I mean, people do usually watch his company's financial disclosures just like they watch Warren Buffett or any number of companies. Bill Ackman, for example. There'll be all sorts of kind of AI produced articles on, whoa, what is this disclosure? What is this position? You know, what's he doing now? So Michael Burry is one of the guys from The Big Short. He was played by Christian Bale, and he betted. He was early in his bet that the U.S. housing market would go down, and he bet hundreds of, I think he actually bet $2 billion, but it cost him hundreds of millions of dollars to make that bet. And he's just disclosed yesterday that he's short through puts 5 million shares of Palantir and 1 million shares of Nvidia, which is a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeez.
Yeah, so the notional value, which is a little bit different than what he actually paid for it, is $912 million is how much he thinks the AI wave is in a bubble right now. So it's kind of a big deal.
I think now talk about what that means to the broader market because look at we do things called we talk about things called open air indicators. This is an open air indicator. This is someone out there that this is not like the Santa Claus rally, and it's not like the Halloween bump or the New Year or the New Year sell off or whatever. This is actual fundamentals that he's trading on. And how does somebody like this affect the entire market, or does he?
You know, I think he does affect retail trading. I think what's important to do today, and why I wanted to mention it, is I think he shouldn't as much because the same thing happens when Nancy Pelosi trades, because her husband counts as her for trading reporting purposes. And we don't know he'll do these big Nvidia put option, out of the money option calls, but we don't know what else he's doing because they don't have to disclose everything, or they don't have to disclose previously held positions if they didn't change anything. So you don't know if they're net long or net short. And so it's really not something you can do. It's not as easy as just saying, oh, he's doing this trade, I'm going to do this trade too. Because we don't know what else he's got and how else he's hedging this big bet. And I promise you, he's making a bet that big. He's buying protection on it.
All right, we got a business music show to do. Howie, stand by. We're going to come back to you in just a little bit, but I can tell you as we move through this, we're going to be able to talk about why shorting is actually a strategy to hedge your bets, even though it's super risky. There's a reason why the market allows it, because it allows what they say for an orderly trading market.
All right, hold on to those shorts. Big B Show rolls on live at the Loft 100 Studios.
Who's that?
In sunny Southern California. That is video of our good friend Kaleo Wassman
He's right there.
with Pepper.
Wow. Yeah,
Where's that?
That's 2009 Warped Tour. I'm going to say it.
That's a lot of
I'm sorry, that's 07 Warped Tour.
2007.
Yep, I can tell by that Puma hat.
So I played in front of a few people, but not that many people. What is it like out there? Is it do you miss the days of playing in bars and 30 people, or is that just as much fun?
It's funny that you brought that up because so recently, now the other kids in the band are having kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm able to take a show to a different area. Do you guys remember the '90s, the MTV Unplugged?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, you remember like Alice in Chains and Nirvana and stuff
Totally.
like this.
Yeah.
For you guys, you're gonna have to look this up, but it's gonna be so beautiful because what it was I listened to these bands like Stone Temple Pilots from San Diego.
Oh, I remember that one.
And oh my gosh, they would just get on and they would rock with their whole grunge scene, and then they would strip all the way down to acoustic instruments, and that blew me away. And so now I'm able to set up a show like this with my other friends that also are like wanting to do acoustic experiences.
We're going to do that right here.
Well, sure.
Yes,
In Loft 100
exactly.
Studios.
And I think we brought Vaughn Aaliyah.
Yeah, we did.
Who is on? Yep, yeah, was on Long
For our
Records.
audience that may not know, we have Kaleo Wassman in studio, the lead singer, of course, and guitarist of Pepper. And now you've got not only that, now you're a record label owner, and you are doing your own thing, as you said, in smaller clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to know, in creating your own record label, how do you make that hop from going, because you've been in this business for a while,
Yeah, very long time.
and you know the broken side of it and the potential good side of it,
Yep.
because the way we consume music. What was that? What was that like making that decision?
Well, so when we first moved over here, May 12th, 1999, from Kona, we're just 3 guys. And we moved over, did our dues, signed a record label. And now this is back in the day when like major labels were buying the littler labels. So you like had like MCA buying Volcom Entertainment. We were already signed to Volcom Entertainment. And then they came in with these ridiculous contracts. They were really, it's a horrible time in music for any artist. Like,
No, is that because of the way the deals were structured? In other words, they were basically
absolutely.
a finance company?
It was never ever in the interest of artists. It was always for money. It's always for the business. It's always for the executives, right? But you kind of have to do the song and dance in order to take the next steps,
To get
in
in
order to
there.
get to where you want to go.
Right.
So when we actually got out of our Atlantic deal, we actually had like the capital to start our own record label, which is what we did. And now with our record label, we're able to like curate bands, allow them to come in and get to know what this is like, and then they actually have the opportunity to get their masters back, which was which is really a huge thing that we learned. Like we're still trying to get our masters back from back in
This is the topic that Taylor Swift brought to the table, right? Because she got her. I mean, that's how I think the masses have heard of that phrase, because she did.
I think what makes it interesting here, I know Kaleo, I know his heart, and I know where your priorities lie, and it's just, you guys weren't treated very well. I mean, labels were not treating people very well back in the day because, to your point, it was about the money, but it was a finance company. Basically, you signed a deal. We're going to do our best to have you break a song, make you famous, give you all your dreams come true. You're going to pay for the recording. You're going to pay for the snacks in the bar. You're going to pay for everything, including toilet paper on the tour bus, back from your first revenue.
Absolutely.
And you're going to keep 8% of 8%.
Yeah, and don't forget about this. Oh, here's your advance too. Also, that's 100% recoupable.
Right, exactly. Right. I mean, I remember talking to Sydney Cerroti from Echo Smith, and she wrote that song called Cool Kids, which was a billion downloads.
Oh, yeah.
And ended up making 2% because of a Sony deal. So I got to believe the altruistic side of the way the small labels are working right now, because music's more democratic now. I mean, look at how many people can be out there. I mean, you don't have to have a record deal. You have music that people can hear, thanks to Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora.
Yeah,
iHeart.
streaming platforms, right? And so it's like the wild west of how to release music. Now,
Right.
on the other side of that, you get so much music sent on to you every Friday, right? And so
the
now
traffic-
we're
Why is it
exposed.
Friday?
Because labels and the whole industry loves to like put
Release
like
them.
they pick a day. Like before it was like a Tuesday.
Okay.
Now it's a Friday, right? And so they like there's like all these like rhythms, algorithms and whatnot that they vibe with.
Release radar
Yeah,
on
it's-
Spotify.
That's what it is. Right? So I'm old school, you guys. So I have a planner, and I write. Actually,
You do?
I do. I have a planner, and if I don't write it, if my thought doesn't go from ink to page,
That mnemonic device that makes it sears in your mind.
I have to have that in order for me to actually understand what I need to do and accomplish.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing too, is being able to write out what I need to do. And this usually takes like an hour out of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm journaling, I'm writing because, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. This is how long I want to get it accomplished. And this is what I can do while I'm out here now.
Because I could see a certain personality type, like honestly a procrastinator or whatever, just blowing their day away with nothing to do, waiting for a sound check or waiting for dinner or a show, right? I mean, you've got to.
Yeah, there's no way that's here.
No, I know, because I'm thinking to myself, I'd have to have one of those things where, I'd have stuff planned. You know, like when you go on vacation and you have the person plan your hike up the Kaleo Trail.
Yep.
Or you had a surf lesson over here, or you're gonna go you go parasailing here. I mean, when you go to different cities, you have to keep yourself busy. I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely, and also too, like slowing down and getting just to walk is fantastic.
Yeah.
When I get home, actually, I always like just pack a bag, take a walk, and slow everything down and look at all the things that like actually have come up. Like, oh, there's a new building I didn't like pay attention to, or there's a new restaurant over there that I didn't see. I do that in every town, walking in every town and just slowing it down.
What is it? Talk to me about fandom. Talk to me about walking in a New York airport and having somebody come up and want to take your picture, say hello to you. Is that
wonderful? It's meeting friends, right? And so also too, what's been really nice with like social media, which wasn't so much back in the day, is that people have access to you. So it's not necessarily kind of like this too much energy. They're just kind of like seeing you as a real life post in that sense. So they actually can like feel comfortable like, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm a huge fan. We've been here, and
because they think they know you more versus just lyrics on a liner, right?
Exactly. And so like with that kind of energy coming at you, it's all the difference. Yeah. And also too, just we have like the sweetest, like we call our fan base the Ohana. The family is really, really beautiful. And it's because we've done this from like ground zero. Playing like China Beach in front of 2 people. To playing just the last show was like Bay Fest where it was like 15,000 people. Right. So and this goes on, but also too, taking it step by step all through the decades. By the way, I mean, we started in 97. All right. So,
overnight success over 30 years.
You know, like,
Right?
Yeah, and like the highs and the lows and the dancing in between.
When did you know you felt like you made it? You're like, okay.
I'll let you know when I get there.
Cool. Yeah.
Great mindset.
I'll let you know when I get there.
So real quickly, can we talk a little bit about some of your other ventures?
Please.
Because you're not just when you travel half the time, it's not because of touring, it's something else that you. I want you to share. It's really cool passion that you have. I'll let you introduce.
Awesome. Okay, so my wife and I in 2016 started a health and wellness business called Rebel and Muse. Now she is. She is certified in so much yogic knowledge. And then I took her teacher training in 2014, I believe. So where we are now with Rebel and Muse is we get to like take these like health and wellness practices to festivals like Cali Vibes or Cali Roots or Reggae Rise Up. And then also we started working with resorts like the Four Seasons. So what we'll do is like we'll go out to a Four Seasons, like example, in December we'll be in Costa Rica for the month teaching the health and wellness programming there on property.
So you don't have, so they can, and they get access to you and your wife and their knowledge and such like that.
And then we have our offerings that they can just tap into, and whatever they resonate with, they can attend.
Can we do another? We need another show with you, with some of your artists.
Yeah.
We need to. Like,
well, now that I'm back, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been home for 1 week.
Well, yeah. When is? And I'm already hammering to try to get shows from the first day it comes back.
Oh, yeah.
How many? So what's next? When do you go back on tour? Any releases and stuff?
What's the date today? It's the 4th. So in about 5 days, I will leave to the East Coast, do a string of those unplugged acoustic shows, and then I come back Thanksgiving for 1 day, and then I will fly to Costa Rica. I get there on the 29th. I'm in Costa Rica teaching with Rebel and Muse until January 3rd, which then I will fly to Cancun.
Do you know why he knows this? Because he writes it down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Burns it on the psyche.
Yep. And then I will fly from Costa Rica to Cancun to meet up with my boys from Slightly Stupid, really good friends. They have a festival over there called Closer to the Sun. I will play that, and then from Cancun, I will fly over to Kona to do the back home sessions for the year 4, and I have Miles from Stupid joining me, which is another just MTV Unplugged kind of show. And then from there, February, I'll be leaving to Jam Cruise, because my wife.
This is just to February. I thought he was already like in July. This is only till February.
27.
Yeah.
Will you keep in touch with us on the way?
Oh, absolutely. Before we go on, too, I can't wait to. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How is your music?
Our music's good.
I know.
I'm feeling
That's
it.
so
Are
good.
you having a blast?
We're having
He's in such a good mood. Look at him. He's so happy.
That's my favorite thing. Like, I get to ask you, how's your music? Are you having a blast with it? And isn't it
Listen,
beautiful?
we're having a blast. I got to write a song with Dickie Barrett from Mighty Mighty Boss Stones and John Feldman of Goldfinger, and then of course Avril Lavigne fame and 34.5 million records that he signed. I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing in the room? Of course, Rick DeVoe, our manager, who founded Blink-182, who found me in a bar somewhere, took a chance on a guy who is staring down the barrel of 65 years old, which is a whole other story. So
I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thanks, brother.
stoked, man. Congratulations. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Kaleo Wassman, ladies and gentlemen, give him a hand.
Thank you,
Singer, guitar for Pepper.
Boys, you're crushing it up there.
Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, the Big Biz Show rolls on. We are in Southern California, inside the Loft 100 studios. Those gentlemen are always with us. That is the Day Trader Trio. Best in the business, no lessons, self-taught. Back here at the bar, it is Costa, it is Mary Godwin, and Sully.
Very good. What a great interview. I find myself strangely attracted to Kaleo Wassman.
That's not
his life.
shocking.
But he's just a good guy. I mean,
Really?
I don't know what it is.
It's the Ohana energy or
is
the
it Hawaii?
Aloha
Is it just-
energy.
He's just so.
Well, he's a walking example, a poster boy of good things happen to good people.
Yeah, he is. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So go visit KaleoWassman.com, go visit Pepper, and go try to see him. His Unplugged show is really good.
Oh, I can
And if you've never even heard him, it's really talented guys.
I wanted to ask him, and maybe you can answer this real fast. When you do that acoustical Unplugged, does that work in front of 15, 20,000 people, or does it have to be a smaller?
Brian James, does Unplugged work in front of a big crowd, or is it better for intimate crowd?
It works with a big.
Does it really?
I've seen Jack Johnson do it.
Oh yeah, there you go. You know, Jack Johnson basically has a guitar, a drum, and a piano on stage.
Yeah.
Right. So it's amazing.
Jack Johnson went to my college, same college my daughter's at. Did you know that? And he has a song about my dining hall.
Who wins the 20 today for the over/under when Mary's going to bring up daughter in college? Let's mark it.
Every show.
12 minutes, 5 minutes, 16 seconds.
We need a Mary Bell.
We need to get one of those Super Bowl things, with the numbers for Mary when she's going to mention
What's
my
that
daughter's
website?
in college.
The website where we can bet.
DraftKings.
Well, yeah, but Howie's
The other
got the
one.
one that you can bet on any.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the options play.
Yeah.
Speaking of Howie, in fact, there he is. Howie, what is that options? What is that betting site that we want to put? How soon will Mary say college?
Kalshi's one, but
Yes.
Polymarket's the big one.
Polymarket, that's the
right.
one.
I got Kalshi on my phone, but I like Polymarkets because Polymarkets. The first thing that you see on there
Fun to
is
look
stuff
at,
like
yeah.
elections, Super Bowl,
Yep.
World Series,
Pope
and then the rest
dying.
of the stuff.
Yep.
It gives you good stuff.
You
Dancing with the
can
Stars.
bet on how many tweets Elon Musk will do in a month. That's, I think, the funniest one.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
So-
you can say, between 100 and 200, 500 and 1,000,
I want to go back to what we were talking about before we got to talk to Kaleo Wassman, and that was the Michael Burry in the short positions. Let's talk about puts and calls because.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Well, if you own a stock that's risky and you want to make the bet anyway, buying a put is just insurance, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
talk about how that works. And so take us through. Do you need a 101 on puts and calls?
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
You're
Howie,
speaking
take it from the very beginning.
another language to me right now.
I think this is important, and I think it's worth covering because, like we were talking about earlier, you see these articles come out, and people will say, "Oh my gosh, he bought puts on X stock," and you'll think that, "Oh my gosh, this stock must be worthless. A smart guy did that," but you don't know what the rest of their book looks like. So here's an example. You see, I'll copy a Sullyism, Sully's Tequila Factory. It's a publicly traded company. Mike wants to buy the stock. But you notice that sometimes the stock goes up 20% in a day. Sometimes it's down 30% in a day. You don't want to live your life like that.
Yeah.
So what you do is you look at a put, and a put just says, I have the right to buy or to sell this stock at X price.
Okay.
And you choose price. So that's called the strike price. So I'll pay let's say the stock's $100 a share. I'll pay $5 for the put, and now I know that it's not going to go below, say, 70.
It's a refuse to lose, right? It's another version.
You have to pay up for it, but you're paying way less than if the stock drops. So it's actually a bullish thing. If you own Sully's Tequila Factory and you own a put, then you're saying, I've protected myself from the downside and I'm only exposed to the upside. So it can actually be a strong signal in that case. That's why it matters what else people own.
So I guess the moral of the story here has to be when we hear the Nancy Pelosi stories, the Bill Ackman stories, the Michael Burry stories, is that you take it with a grain of salt, right? Because we're only seeing a snapshot of what they're looking at. We're not seeing an entire investment plan. I mean, they're taking a risk in some cases, but maybe it's not a big risk compared to what the rest of the portfolio is.
Yeah,
correct?
you'd have to really be able to give them a financial colonoscopy to know what true net exposure is, and that's what you want to know: net exposure.
For you, general market. I mean, look, we've got interest rates going down. It's I've been saying this. I'm going to say honestly, since 2022, when we were still sort of in the throes of the economic pandemic, that the economy was shut off by like a light switch, and it's going to come back like a sunrise. I think the sun's risen finally because we got 2 interest rate cuts in a row. It seems we have mortgage applications are going through the roof. We got good jobs numbers coming up. When do we see the real windfall of post-COVID and economic policy, or is the government shutdown preventing all of it at this point, or is that just a distraction?
The government shutdown, oddly enough, seems to be a distraction. Well, it'll really heat up. We now, I think today ties it for the longest government shutdown ever. There's some news that it could break this week, but probably more likely that we're going to see this go through Thanksgiving. It could start to affect at some point the emergency funding for airport towers is going to go, and you can't fly without that. So that'll limit plane flight during Thanksgiving. I mean, that doesn't seem like a winning strategy from Washington.
I was seeing all the news about all the airports this weekend, Chicago and all these big cities that are just shut down or just major delays, hours of delays.
Yeah. I mean, we can't have that, right? I mean, who's going to want to take credit for that during Thanksgiving? It's I think the Friday of Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving is the biggest travel day of the year.
Yep. Yeah. Howie, what's the general market prediction in your opinion?
Stocks can go higher for a while. I mean, this whole year has been an AI thing, and there's plenty of AI activity happening. The rest of the market has not grown as fast, but AI is the booming new technology. That's how it always kind of works. So I think we still have more fuel left in this rocket, but it will level out, folks. Like, I don't know if that happens in the second quarter of 2026 or when it happens, but we are in a little bit of a boom. It's not a tulip boom, but it's kind of like 2000. We needed the internet. We needed a lot of internet stocks, but a lot of it was froth, right? So I think.
And keep in mind, this is something you mentioned before, Howie, and I want you to repeat it again, is that look at bull markets last traditionally way longer than bear markets do. And so times of prosperity, look, put it this way. The Dow Jones is what's the Dow today? 40 something, 50, I lost track at 85,000. Anyways, long story short is the Dow would be a negative number if stocks didn't eventually usually go up. Okay. In fact, if you look at the Bolsa, the Mexico Stock Exchange years has been in a negative sometimes. Yeah. So look at overall, you need to look in terms of bright days are better, but if you go macro or micro on this stuff, it's really tough to get through your day.
Yeah, we're just spoiled because we're used to seeing all these 20% up years. I mean, the market on average is up 13. Where if we're up more than that, then you're in good times and expect a reciprocal, kind of effect.
Howie, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Howie Font, our lead analyst.
Lead analyst here on the Big Biz Show.
We got business and music stuff coming on. We got the guys.
So awesome. Plus a live studio audience as well. Lots to come your way. Keep it right here on the Big Biz Show.
show today. Kaleo Wassman from the band Pepper, but right now, very special guests, friends of the show, friends of mine, Travis Mills, Nick Rose from the band Girlfriends. Take it away, boys. Can't wait to hear you.
Run away, don't look back. Memories of 17 in the cul-de-sac. Thought it'd get better, but it never did. And in a rush to grow up, you miss some things. Fall in love, they mess it up, it's the same routine. Thought it'd be easy, but it never is. Stepping over cracks in the pavement. Tell me if I'm someone worth saving, or am I just another thing to forget? 'Cause there goes the neighborhood, gone up in smoke. And we didn't know back then that the sidewalk ends and life's just a bad joke. Young and misunderstood, you're not alone. Why did we run away from the good old days? I'd go back if I could. Don't look now, but there goes the neighborhood. Down never was quite the same since Dad moved out. Nobody tells you how it'll really feel. Try anything to ease the pain of being young, overwhelmed, misunderstood by everyone. Nobody tells you the things you need to hear. Stepping over cracks in the pavement. Tell me, am I someone worth saving, or am I just another thing to forget? 'Cause there goes the neighborhood, gone up in smoke. And we didn't know back then that the sidewalk ends and life's just a bad joke. Young and misunderstood, you're not alone. Why did we run away from the good old days? I'd go back if I could. You don't look now, there goes the neighborhood. Don't look now, there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. Come on. Travis Mills, Nick Rose, the band Girlfriends. Come on down here, you guys. Come on down off the stage.
Good.
Come on.
Oh,
Travis
my.
Mills, Nick Rose from the band Girlfriends. First of all, I got a chance to meet these guys because of an opportunity I was given to write music with a guy named John Feldman, who is lead singer of Goldfinger. Nick, of course, Nick Rose is the drummer for Goldfinger. Then I meet this guy named Travis Mills, who I've been following for a long time. And just this quickly became friends. But I got to say, after the show I got to see up in Huntington Beach at the skate park, and after this, I'm going to tell you kids, it's the luckiest day you came in today because you got rock stars in here. So what's going on? Talk about the new album and talk about the tour and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, our third record, There Goes the Neighborhood, it's out. It's
finally here.
It's a culmination of like 2 years of hard work.
Weren't you in the studio with Feldman for like 8 months on this thing? Was it?
It probably, yeah, it was about probably 8 months. It was a lot of back and forth. It was probably the longest record John Feldman has ever made in his career. Because it's normally 8 days, and it took 8 months.
I never knew that I could rap until you go in there in the recording studio. If you're writing music, you typically think you write the stuff down, right? Yeah. And then you get a tune to it, and you try to match I need 5-syllable word, supercalifragilistic here, and it all fits. Not with John Feldman. John Feldman, you'll give him a nugget, or he'll give you a nugget, and he'll say, get in there. And you got to just sing what's coming off the top of your head.
Make it up on the fly.
And then 2 hours later, you got something on the radio. No, not so much in this time, huh?
Well, I mean, we thankfully for us, we had the name of the record, we had the idea of the album before we ever wrote one song. Mm-hmm. And then we had a couple demos, and then we got in the studio with John, and then, we wrote a bulk of the album. And then as we were finishing things up, we kind of dug back into those original conversations and those original ideas, and that's what really rounded out the record.
You guys have been friends for a long time. Mm-hmm. How did your careers actually start? I mean, because obviously, and a lot of the kids here, and we have an audience that is at 80 million TV homes, 175 countries, and international. People want to be in the music business. They want to be in the entertainment business. I always say, and Mike and I have always said, from starting in radio, just being in the building got us where we are here.
Always.
Music's a different story now, right? How did you guys start in the very beginning?
I don't know if anyone's going to remember, but I made a MySpace page.
Oh, whoa.
And this is full circle because Tom from MySpace, if you ever had a MySpace profile, Tom was, your first friend. He was at our record release show that you were at in Huntington.
Oh, no kidding.
And so I got to actually talk to him. And
he was like, I'm Tom. I'm like, wait, Tom who? He's like,
Tom
MySpace Tom. Yeah, he's like, I'm Tom from MySpace.
But I got to tell him, I said, hey man, I wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for you creating MySpace, because I used to sit at home and I would friend request 800 people a day, because that was the limit.
That's how you did it.
And I would send messages to everyone, and I think it's evolved a little bit now, but the idea is still the same. It's make something that you're proud of, put it out to people, and then build a community that you can connect with online and start the seed.
Dick, how did you jump in?
I met my first singer that I connected with in catechism class, in church class, when I was in 7th grade. Oh. He was like, I'm in a band called Stool Pigeon. I was like, I'm going to be better than your drummer. Let me come in and do a little band rehearsal. Joined the band when I was in 8th grade, and we kind of became the focus of the high school kids, right? We'd bust charter Greyhound buses of kids up to our shows in LA when we were high school kids, juniors and seniors, and just kind of built this buzz. Had a MTV show called Laguna Beach back in the time, 20 years ago, come into our town and feature the band, and
that's cool.
Us as characters on the show, and next thing you know, we're playing TRL as seniors in high school, and it was a trippy experience.
That's so interesting, is gaming the system, busing people in. Is a brilliant thing, and I think a lot of artists realize that. How you get to the next level is you got to find a manager and a booking agent. You get a manager, you got to be able to fill a room of what are called hard ticket sales, where people now they don't know, for example, in the beginning that they're actually paying to get in. So what we used to do is we used to get charities. And we'd play charity gigs that we knew 150 people would show up, and they're, hey, look, we got 150 people. Next thing you know, Rick DeVoe, not him sucking. My question for you is, doing multiple bands across, because you've been a solo artist, and then you're involved in a number of projects, but you play a couple bands at the same time. How tough is that for you? Is that?
Yeah, I love it. I kind of having 2 different projects is great. Obviously, they're kind of in this same genre of things, but being able to play with John Feldman and Goldfinger obviously brings so much to what we do. He produces all of our records. We've just got to play our first show together for the first time at Vans Warped Tour in Long Beach. And for me, I'm all about the energy, staying involved in different kinds of projects and seeing where certain things can flow into Girlfriends, and Girlfriends things flow back into the Goldfinger thing. And you meet a lot of people through different situations. I've gotten to know so many legends from the punk rock world through Goldfinger, right? And just great connectivity and good people that come into our world. So there's just a lot of that interconnectivity between our scene.
You just talked about MySpace, and we had Kaleo Wassman from Pepper in just before as you got to see on the break. And we were talking about the music business has changed in terms of consumption of music. I don't think you even, but we used to go to record stores. Tower Records, Warehouse, and little by little they've disappeared.
Get the hottest cassette.
I grew up buying CDs, dude.
We know Tower Records.
But listen, but here's the deal. There was a few artists in terms of all the people that were making music in the world, and you saw their CDs or albums or something in a record store. And there was a finite amount of things you can get. Now, it's more democratic. Everybody who wants to put their music out can put it out by tomorrow on a number of platforms. The way we consume music is we sort of get served, I guess is Mary's word, being a social media person, certain music that's supposed to match what we like. How do you cut through that? How do you cut through to where you are competing with,
As an artist or as a listener?
As an artist.
We're still figuring it out. I don't think if anyone has cracked the code, there would be one band, one manager, one record label.
Right.
So true.
No one has like a blueprint. I think it's
And it changes. It's like the algorithms
100%.
change all the
And I
time.
also think there's no way to like hack the system.
Yeah.
You can't build a fan base like that.
Right.
It's like you got to put your music out there. Hopefully people relate to it, and when they do, make sure that you follow up and you go play shows.
Yeah,
and
go
you
on the
build your
road.
community brick by brick.
Is radio important still? Radio, I mean terrestrial radio, like
Yeah.
you turn on the knob, driving to work type stuff.
I think so. I think any form of distribution and eyeballs and ears, right, of like people that are consuming your music in different kinds of ways. Like there's people that still listen to radio, tons.
Yeah.
So you can't say no to it.
The as far as record label business goes, talk about how that's changed a little bit from when you guys first started, and now you got all these independent record labels. Thankfully, that are not playing the game like Sony's and Atlantic and Island Records used to play, where they were basically a finance company. They'd give you an advance that you had to pay back. They'd pay for the recording that you had to pay back. And I use this analogy, but there are several artists big artists that you have heard of that are take home 2% of 100%, or 8% of 8%. Has that changed a lot in terms of what you guys get to keep, what you guys have to give up to get where you're going? Because
I think major labels are the least important that they've ever been. I think that all they're looking for is an artist who already has motion and a fan base and numbers, and they don't. I think A&R is dead. The whole
for the rest of the world, A&R is album and repertoire.
Well, artist and repertoire. Yeah. So you used to sign to a major label because you'd get assigned an A&R, someone who was very passionate about your music, and they would develop your career with you. They would come up with producers that you think that they think you should be in the studio with. They would connect you to songwriters. They would go and find records and stuff like that. It was like a very intimate kind of relationship. I think major labels have lost that kind of touch, and so what they're trying to do is sign artists that have already done all of the work for themselves, so that they can.
Which is like you guys are doing, right? I mean, you write, you record, you find distribution, but you got the Star Maker machine that you have to do. It's publicity and all.
You also do all your social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Travis and I both have kind of experienced both sides of it too.
Yeah.
Like Travis and I have been signed to major record labels when we were younger kids. I was signed to Sony Epic. You were signed to Columbia, right? So I think we've seen both sides of it. So now to be able to kind of put out our own records through Big Noise, with John Feldman and our label that we have, it just allows us a lot more creative flexibility and freedom and different avenues to explore around the kinds of people we want to work with and bring to our project versus being forced from a major label of like, here's your team and here's who you're going to work with. Like, we get to have those opportunities every day to make those creative decisions for ourselves. Everything from social media to who we want to work with PR to, the cover of our record and who's going to be the photographer for that.
And before you had very little say in that, or just a little bit of approval in that?
Yeah, I think from a major perspective, it's just different. There's more avenues and channels to have to go through.
Is it better for the artist now than it was before, you think, in some ways? In terms of that?
I think in some ways, yeah. I mean, look, the artists have all the power, right? But now, and the beautiful thing is that anyone can be an artist.
Yeah, right.
So, but there's two sides to that coin, right?
Yeah.
Because there's 80,000 songs that get put out every single Friday.
Right.
Yeah, that's
crazy stat. Crazy stat to think about.
Yeah.
Mike's going, how do I get those emails? All you have to do is subscribe to Spotify.
Yeah,
That's
Spotify.
a lot. He's saying people are sending cassettes. Like, he's still getting CDs.
Hey,
from
bro,
Netflix.
check this one out.
Yeah, by the way, a cassette today probably means more than.
But you know what? But
We're doing cassettes.
we made cassettes and we sold out of all of them.
I bet you did.
Who still has? I guess
But I think there's something
Don't
special.
make me pull out the purple vinyl.
That's
with
right.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, I think there's something special about owning physical media and having something tangible that you can hold in your hand. I mean, even if you don't physically pull out a cassette and put it in a cassette player to listen to it, it means something because like you spent your money on it. And now like with subscription services and all, like think about streaming movies and stuff. I spend more time looking for something to watch than actually watching something.
Yes.
By the way, it's an emotional connection to something that kind of doesn't exist as much anymore. So
I'm right with you. My favorite show is Succession, but my first favorite show is Previously on Succession because it takes 45 minutes to get there. I'm going to come with that. I'm going to make the ultimate mixtape. I'm going to beg all my friends to come on it for charity. We have to have a tape again, I think.
Love it.
Two things before we get out of here. Number one, talk about touring, and then talk about any future projects you guys are doing.
Yeah, we're on the road right now supporting the new album. There Goes the Neighborhood. We're doing like small little pop-up shows in your neighborhood. So tonight we're in San Diego.
Yeah, right.
We're about to be in Cleveland, Ohio, DC. We're going to Florida. We're playing a festival in Nashville. We're ending in Orlando at Vans Warped Tour to celebrate 30 years.
Then we get to go out to the UK. Dublin is our first show, which we've never been before.
Really?
So we're probably going to see a lot of this in Dublin.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you do.
Yeah, a lot of pubs.
Yeah, a lot of pubs.
Are you guys continually writing?
You know, actually, I would
when you're supporting something, are you thinking about the next thing, or do you just have to be all into this thing?
I don't think we.
Our record came out a week ago, so we're just like, I think we're so deep into it.
I want to know who picked the names 1999 and Landslide for your songs, because I was like, they covered 1999, but it's got a different vibe, and I love it.
Yeah, I think titles, which is so crazy because we had the album title before we wrote any of the music. I think song titles come once the song is written, and you kind of find the most tangible thing. And with chorus like, wish I could take us back in time to 1999. It's like it's just kind of perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, you're after my generation with that.
Were you guys the There Goes the Neighborhood kids on the blocks you grew up on, or the blocks you grew up on?
For sure, dude. I got in so much trouble.
I think Travis and I both got in our fair share.
The Mills and the Grocer.
I was skateboarding. I was starting fires.
We were just talking about keeping
so much bad
smashing
stuff.
pumpkins on the street, and
Travis Mills, Nick Gross, Girlfriends, and GirlfriendsXO.com. Let's listen to some of the music on the way. Guys, you guys got to come back for a whole other thing.
Appreciate it.
Okay, you ready to play out?
On a tightrope.